What rapes did Hezbollah do? Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking about?
See, on her way out the office, Kamala Harris is now trying to help us unburden from what has been. Hezbollah. What Hezbollah? Shame on you. Okay, so we've got Nikki the Knife, Alex Jones, Sneeko. Only, ironically, you think Fresh and Fit. No. Only bitch one. Not bitch two. Coconuts is free. Coconuts is free.
You know, I'm tired of these people gaslighting me. Haven't the Jews been gassed enough? So you're telling me you understand what microaggression is, but you can't understand what...
Ethan! Rotation every so often when I had time to play them. Then Atomic Crops, then back to Darkest Dungeon, then back to Path of Exile 1, then bouncing between that and a bunch of other fucking variety games, and now Balatro and Path of Exile 2. Alright.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
We think the Houthi Ansarallah is doing what the Houthi shut up. Fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dogs. Why am I held accountable? God forbid you throw.
We go from fucking a wholesome conversation to just toxicity out of Hassan's ass mouth. Ah, fuck me running. Mark.
The fucking green Hamas banner.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm
All
cooked,
together.
I'm cooked.
Happy birthday from Twitch, Hassan. Happy birthday from Twitch.
No, the conversation about Darkest Dungeon horror.
Oh, hi there. It's me, your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys. I've lost 100 pounds, and I've pissed off 75% of the internet. Probably a lot of you guys too. Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should bomb.
Ah, fuck. That wasn't me taking it down. That was OBS fucking up.
Oh yeah, and I got a tattoo also, so I'm cool like that now. Left or right, I always thought that, despite our differences, there was one thing we could all agree on.
That Hassan's a pick roach.
That we love America and everything she stands for.
Mom and Dad and apple pie.
Sure, there's plenty to criticize and endless things to improve, but I thought it was about making a more perfect union, not tearing it down.
And marching bands, a pride that only
The thing is, there's something kind of scary brewing in America. Communism.
That's America. That's America to me.
I started a show a couple of years ago with my acquaintance, Hassan Piker. You might remember him from such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry. Holy shit. That's not what I said. You dumb or bitch.
and of course, the Leftovers podcast, which was our show, which we made broadly to goof on the antics of the right. Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, Because who am I to judge?
There was Ethan Klein being a delightful human being.
I was just gonna say, if there's another Holocaust, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets.
Memories. Yeah, that was not the greatest look for you, man.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And we went on making the show for about 2 years and everything was good. Everyone was having fun, the audience was having fun, no problem. Until this happened.
There you go.
We were doing our regular show, and for the first time I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. I don't hate the idea of like people who can be successful. I think it's good that people can achieve success in the term monetary success. I mean, that's what that means, right? I do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because I see so many people in the chat saying no.
I don't know what y'all are tripping about. Like, what the fuck do you
What is the idea that
you guys
people are looking for?
You guys are all like radical communists? There's that many radical communists? Suck it, chat. You're watching a capitalist pig. Deal with it.
And then this happened.
This comment from Hassan really started to sound some alarms in my head.
If you're in a socialist country with multiple parties, and one of the parties is a capitalist party, which would surely exist.
Yeah.
What would you do if that party started gaining momentum?
The solution to that would always be education and offering more
re-education?
Re-education, certainly, yeah. There should be an enforcement mechanism, and in that enforcement mechanism, I think like rehabilitation, which would include re-education as well.
If putting capitalists in re-education camps isn't disturbing enough, I started to notice that Hassan was carrying a lot of water for communist states' war crimes and genocides.
What do you call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory, bitch. That's what I call Crimea. I call it Crimea River, a Russian river. The annexation...
The comedy of fucking Hassan's brain will never stop being funny, because honestly, Crimea fucking River is not actually that bad. The fact is that he fucked up the delivery on that shit. And the fact that he's saying it while having the equivalent of what I can only call the commie rich boy perm is hilarious.
What do you call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory, bitch. That's what I call Crimea. I call it Crimea River, a Russian river. The
He just botches it the entire time. He just botches the whole fucking thing. Anyways.
Annexation of Crimea is absolutely a justifiable annexation. Tibet was literally a fucking feudal slave mandate autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like that's not far from the norm in fucking normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
so China unilaterally took over Tibet,
like
their culture. They basically are trying to, you know, homogenize the culture.
If your culture,
they're trying to spoil the religion and the identity.
The part of feudal warlords and slavery, abolishing that, yes, I do think that is good.
No, China did them a favor.
This is a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American federal government going into the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is violent retribution from a powerful federal government that squashed, okay?
Tibet is the South in the Civil War?
Yes.
And most disturbingly, the
fact that he botches the entire history of that entire conflict to the point that a fucking Bollywood film tells a better story of what exactly happened with the revolts under British imperialism is a joke that is not believing reality. This man does this for a job, and rewatching these clips and reliving how stupid his takes were, and that this would be the point at which Hassan begins to turn the gears inside of Ethan's head to figure out that I think this man is a terrorist sympathizer is, well, it's give-worthy. But you know, he learned his lesson. Now he will never platform this again. Hopefully in the future.
Complete whitewashing of the Chinese genocide against the Muslim.
What a good return to original Ethan form. What a good return to Ethan form. Ah, man. Ah. Jay's reacting to the nuke as well. Let me call her. I just had myself a retard moment inside my own DMs. In my defense, Tor, you were above her, and I clicked on her name, but it didn't register my button click. Fuck me running. Oh my god. I can't repeat that to her. I'm not repeating that to her. Fucking god. Okay, let me find her fucking tweet. Sorry folks, I'm trying to make magic happen real quick. Alright, I'm making a new post that shows that I'm switching over, and I'm linking the fucking stream for both platforms. And then put the link to it inside of here. Okay, we'll see if she responds. Alright.
Minority group, the Uyghurs.
Really,
Don't they have Uyghur death camps? Is that?
it's not a death camp. It's
Yeah, they're not death camps, they're just slave camps. You tell them right, Hassan. You tell them that they're not just killing them, they're also enslaving them. And then leaving them to die in barred cages when they were suffering from COVID.
They were re-education camps, and they are no longer in operation.
Is that
according
true?
to the Associated Press?
Okay. I saw this
But, yeah,
crazy documentary, and I don't know. I don't know the surrounding narrative or anything about it, but it was about there was doctors in the area. They would be able to procure organs
No,
Or-
that's no.
I'm telling you, they were in China with.
Dog, that one is like Shenyun,
They're like, we
Falun
could
Gong.
get you an organ. From a Uyghur. But why is that? Is that really that crazy?
The Associated Press quietly fucking wrote an article that didn't get a lot of coverage in mainstream media about how, like, okay, well, you know, all the concentration camps have been closed now. It's like all the re-education camps are closed now in fucking Xinjiang, and it's like very different vibes in Xinjiang. And now, you know, it's the tourism hour.
Let's see what the Associated Press actually had to say about this. These are all AP articles from the last 2 years. UK independent body reports China committed genocide in Xinjiang. China sanctioned a US research firm and 2 individuals over a report about the human rights violations in Xinjiang.
It's the tourism hour.
To China's fury, UN accuses Beijing of Uyghur rights abuses.
Tourism hour.
Uyghur County in China has the highest prison rate in the world. 1 in 25 people is in a Chinese prison.
It's the tourism hour.
48 Uyghurs detained in Thailand.
Oh, it's peak form. It's peak form, Ethan.
For almost 11 years are on hunger strike to protest their imminent deportation to China, where they face imprisonment or execution.
Not only does this AP article seem not to exist, reading the AP proved exactly the opposite. Hassan has happily eaten up the Chinese propaganda on this and has regurgitated it to his mainstream audience. Why is he defending China's genocide of their Muslim population? How does this even make sense? It only makes sense if A, he's being paid, or B, he has the political complexities of a 5-year-old. I know America Bad is a meme that people laugh at online, but with Hassan, this does actually seem to be the beginning and the end of his analysis.
2 principles. Let me explain to you. 2 principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay? When you look at a situation in the Middle East, you look at what the local government is.
You look at the local government.
And who the Western forces are.
And you look at the Western forces, and then you do what, Hassan?
Never align with the Western forces. So when I look at other countries, I look at the regional actor, whoever the regional power player is, and then I look at who is backed by the Western superpowers. That's a principle that you could take home with you. If you want to actually be moral, or if you want to be smart about the way you analyze other countries, that's one basic principle that you can take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
When looking at foreign policy in America, and while being a content creator that is protected from the crimes and stupidity of his actions in America, just simply go along with what the terrorists say. Certainly, it could never be wrong. They would never lie to you. Never. Never ever. Why would they want to? That'd be bad. Those are bad outcomes. You should want good outcomes. Like getting me money for listening to my dog shit said on a live stream. Why would you disagree with me, chat? There's no way this would ever go poorly for me. This certainly wouldn't lead to people's lives being lost, or potential information being just outright flat out goddamn wrong. I'm smart, me. I'm Hassan Piker.
After seeing all of this, I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership.
I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
And then, this happened.
We have breaking news out of Israel this morning, where Hamas has launched a surprise attack.
JDAM, called on!
Within Israel's borders overnight.
After the shock of...
Oh, you didn't play the clip. Fuck, damn it. Come on, Ethan. You should have stuck in the JDAM called on clip.
October 7th, I noticed a huge increase of anti-Semitic comments from Hassan's stream and Discord, including from his head mod. I was disturbed that Hassan was seemingly okay with this.
Can you, do you care that your chat is calling me racist? Do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at all?
I have not looked at my chat at all, but you have
I just opened it, but don't you have moderators? Do you care at all about what your audience says about me?
There's 32,000 people in here right now.
I'm just trying to tell you guys how it feels. And I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, who the fuck is this child, cold, arrogant, as fuck.
I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
How can you be surprised when your Discord is literally full of fucking...
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do if you're making that argument. You know that, right? Like,
Hassan's chat had been calling
Ethan, I can't stop them. Ethan, please. I can't stop. Ethan, you gotta understand. I can't open the door, Ethan, you gotta understand. It's too hard, Ethan, my arms are too long and I can't reach.
Zionist, baby-killing genocider, maybe it is unreasonable that I'm asking him to moderate his chat for a friend. He doesn't even know where I'm coming from because it's not something he would ever ask for.
And all these other content creators actually, you know, whipping their communities when their chat is going fucking absolutely bananas over random dumb shit and bringing my name up for no fucking reason. That you were just allowing that shit to run rampant in your chat. And I thought that was fucked up. Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do. Especially as someone who thought we were fucking friends. I think that's a reasonable expectation for someone who you consider to be a friend.
The problem wasn't that he was pro-Palestinian, because I share a lot of those views, and I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years. The problem with Hassan's coverage, and a lot of people like him, was their complete lack of empathy for the Jewish people who were frankly slaughtered by Hamas. He refused to show even a crumb of empathy for the Jewish victims.
But listen to what this guy has to say.
And as you might have seen, there was some sort of rave or desert party where they were having a great time until the resistance came in electrified hang gliders and took at least several dozen hipsters.
Woo! Cheering on the death of innocent victims. Woo!
They're doing very fine despite what the New York Post says. But nobody had seen this coming.
I mean, that's insane, right?
I don't even... Yeah, okay. Like...
Okay. I'm just criticizing people. You don't have to comment if you're not comfortable about it.
I honestly felt at times that he and his audience barely thought of Israelis as humans.
But this dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlements.
Part of running defense for Hamas is downplaying the violence, specifically the sexual violence, which he's done a lot of.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't...
I love this clip. It doesn't matter if rapes happened on October 7th. What matters is that I have to fucking cover for it. Don't make me have to defend this shit.
Change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people can't contend with. Like, the Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets. The Palestinian...
See, it's a lot worse than that. See, if you could start and begin and end from he just is pro-Palestinian and he's just going mask off about things that he either has no true understanding of or has no true knowledge of, is not enough for Hasan Piker. No. Hasan Piker and his desire to protect terrorism goes to the point that he will back up the worst sex crimes and the worst war crimes, as long as his side is the one that's doing it. Because remember, in an historical conflict, you need to look at what the American government says and what the local government says, including the government that happens to be ran by the terrorists, because the PLO is ran by Hamas. Terrorists control the civilian public service and government. And when the terrorist government says, we are victims, you believe the terrorists and not the American officials that have the recordings of the body cam footage, the soldier footage, the civilian footage, the live leak footage, as well as the reconnaissance from the Iron Dome in Israel, showing us that all of these missiles and all of these bombs and all of these deaths are being rained down upon from the single strip of land in the country that explicitly says they're not doing the thing that physical evidence proves that they're doing. From the mind of a man who has been told why you don't do this kind of reporting, who is somehow touted as the #1 name in news on Twitch. If he was just a himbo, and he just had political views, and those political views, while stupid, were his own, and he was just a himbo who had little knowledge of political intrigue, we could ignore him outright. But because he is brought onto mainstream platforms, he is an American figure who effectively makes people like myself and Horror, patriots in any color and of any background, look like fools. Because if we were in medieval times, or more accurately, if we wanted to be serious between the issues between these two countries, or rather these two nation states, If we were living in the times which are desired by the Muslim Brotherhoods, which control these territories and lands for which he is defending the actions of, they would actively execute him. And they would not apologize for doing so. Because they would say that it is in their best interest to do so. Because he's a useful idiot. Because he's a belligerent, useful idiot.
Resistance is not perfect. They're not, like, so good. They have magical...
Oh, good! He has the articles. Thank you, Ethan!
Bullets is not perfect.
Of course, if you compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis. 40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been completely flattened during this war. And while we should keep their plight at the top of our minds at all time, it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the lives of the Jewish people who are also affected by this, even if their suffering on the whole is not as great. Some of you may know that I'm an Israeli dual citizen. My wife is Israeli, my kids are half Israeli, and my entire in-law is Israeli. I lived there for 5 years, and I grew a closeness with the country and its people. One of the biggest issues between me, Hassan, and his community was that I am in favor of a two-state solution while they are in favor of a one-state solution. Their theory is that after the October 7th attack, Israel should just dissolve its borders and let Hamas enter Israel unrestrained.
What do you think Israel should have done in response to October 7th?
Instead of indiscriminately bombing Gaza, I think the first thing to do in that situation would be to dismantle the government in the way that it existed, like get Netanyahu out of power.
Okay. So you're saying Israel in response... Hold on, dude. You're saying in response to this terrorist attack, Israel should have dismantled their own government.
First set of actions would be to democratically take Netanyahu out of power. Yes.
The problem is that Israel's been at war with its neighbors for 70 plus years, and it makes a lot of sense that there'd be some distrust there. Is it really insane to think that Jews, as an ethnic minority in Israel, would not be safe? After all, Israel is a country of refugees. If the Jews didn't come from Europe after the Holocaust, they came from the surrounding Arab countries that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. And
it's very ironic that it happened, that we get to cover this like this and that we get to talk about it, because I actually had a conversation earlier inside of Cassie's server with other people concerning this exact nature of conversation. Because there was a user inside of it that I had brought up the fact that things had turned out the way that they did in the state because of the way that the state treated certain peoples on the ground. And that ultimately, the condition of people becoming migrants throughout the region is directly a result and response of individuals not being allowed to effectively live without being terrorized for just being there, existing, as one would. And he had fought me a bit concerning whether or not it was actually in the interest of the country to talk about the issue in such a way, because they did not either want to own the take or they did not understand the take that I was giving, that actually if people become migrants in a situation because they are effectively forced out of their nation because the land has been salted and torn and barred by those that lived around the region and they're with those in company, it is interesting that they would be told that they shouldn't be allowed to have a nation state, despite all of the things that had to happen in order for these things to come to pass the way that they happened to come to pass. You wouldn't have people migrant throughout the region if it were not the case that this was happening to them. And he just kept fighting me on this issue. Eventually he came around to it and he agreed that yes, they would not be having to fight these wars if they were just allowed to live peacefully in the region and they were able to coexist. But no, they had to pull 5-on-1s, 1-on-5s, 2-on-5s, 3v5s, back to back between all the regions around them, from Egypt to fucking Lebanon and beyond. Hearing it and then listening to Hassan say that the response should have been to dismantle the government of a nation state that has been trying to resist being terroristically conquered. But at the same time, he believes that that same nation that lies about the sexual violence that it visits not only upon its own citizens, but upon the citizens that are on the border and in the demilitarized zone between them and Gaza. It's beyond bonanza. It's beyond fucking bonanza, bro.
In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba. 1 million Jews. All of these surrounding Arab countries had vibrant Jewish communities in huge number, hundreds of thousands. Now, if you look at them, you're looking at close to, if not literally, 0 Jews left in these countries.
Just to give you an idea, here's a visual representation of the Jewish refugees after 1948. Morocco had 265,000 Jews. Now it has 2,000. Algeria had 140,000. Now it has about 50. Iraq had 150,000 Jews. Now 10. And I want to give a special shout out to my boy over in Afghanistan, one known Jew. We know him. We love him. He's the one Afghan Jew.
They were forced to leave their homes, their lives, their property, and migrate to the only place in the world that would accept them, which was Israel. The irony of this whole situation is that after the 1948 war, when Israel won the war to declare its independence, the Arab countries got super anti-Semitic against their own Jewish citizenry that had nothing to do with Israel. And as a result, they kicked them all out, 1 million plus of them, and forced them to go the one place they hated the most, Israel. And now those same people that forced them out of their homes are telling them they don't belong there. So if the Jews of Israel are surrounded by Islamic militant terrorist groups that have stated their goal is to annihilate Israel as a Jewish state, and considering the historical context of Jews being pogromed from Arab countries, is it really that crazy for them to not feel safe as an ethnic minority, even a little bit?
And that's pretty much the entirety of our disagreement. Despite what you've read on TikTok and Twitter, I've donated $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started.
Hey, Ethan Klein, thank you for the dono. Ethan Klein gave $6,500. My goat. Thank you, Ethan.
Condemned net.
Seems pretty low, but actually it's a lot more than what Ethan just happened to say there. I'm going to fill in on that. It goes a lot further than that. Israel, historically, for all the work that had been done over the years, Israel, British map. See if I have the map of the British Mandate. Here we are. Wonderful. Okay. So, if you go off from the British Mandate, and then you measure it against the transformation of the maps of the Israel-British conflict, map. Here we go. This will work. Actually, no, this one works even better. Wonderful. So, if you go from the timeline of how these events started, no, I do not want to donate to your website, jewishvirtuallibrary.org, but thank you for the question. No, I do not want to join the JVL Inciting mailing list. Thank you. If you go from here on the measurements for the historical mandate, you go from this to this, and for those with a better visual example, this. All of these things from the post-World War state of the British Mandate offer to the partition plan, the state of Israel, the Israel occupation, the 100-Year War, the Oslo Accord, and then the Hamas takeover. For all of these different states and regions that surrounded what was known as not Palestine, but the Transjordan area, the British Mandate that was separated to be given to Jewish settlement, and that would be given to the remainder of the Arab inhabitants. The way that they went from this to this was because of constant warring, where every single time that the Israels won a conflict, they gave the land away and tried to divide it amongst those that could be able to live and work with it. They were effectively given junk land that was amounted to nothing but desert. And all of the arable lands that could be made into farms was given to the Arabs. And in this conflict that had gone on for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, I wish I had the clip on hand, but it's on my last account, and of course I can't remember what the fucking thing started with. The clip that I have always used that was defined by the fat guy from TikTok that pulled the back-to-backs that are the history of the conflicts of the region. They got from here to here because they would not take the two-state solution. So, to really just dig the knife in further on exactly how unapologetic and evil Hassan's view of the conflict is, Hassan, in his mindset, believes that for people who have struggled since 1918 to coexist with those that they try to share with the land, he believes that they should just bend over and die, despite defending themselves and then developing themselves as best as they could, especially after the armistice agreement for Egyptian and Jordanian rule, and then the armistice agreement after the 6-Day War. The fact that things happened as they did because of Hamas's desire to turn the Gaza Strip into a tract of land that would endlessly bomb the Israel states, alongside the function of the Palestinians that live in the region and live in Gaza themselves, is nothing short than wanting victims of war that have survived only because of American assistance from NATO to effectively bend over and ask to get reamed. And there is no country in the world that would ever take such a deal. I know that the green screen kind of makes it a little bit hard to read, but if you don't believe me, please do your research on this. Anyways, back to the Copen and the Heathen.
Netanyahu as a war criminal. They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal. Called the West Bank settlements an abomination. Settlers in the West Bank are religious zealots, they're monsters, they're genocidal. I've even said the West Bank settlers are valid military targets. When you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank right now. And these people are more or less valid military targets, in my opinion. My only crime is wanting a two-state solution instead of one, and thinking it's not okay to kill Israeli civilians. That's it. That's why they're calling me a Nazi Zionist. And because of Hassan and others spreading this malicious lie about my beliefs, I'm even getting harassed on the street.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're... wasn't she in the IDF?
Yes.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Mandatory service.
That's
She's born
sad.
there.
That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. I feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist,
Bro,
man.
look in the fucking...
You look like a fucking rapist, Ethan.
They're not sending their best. They're not sending their best. They're not sending their best.
Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist, bro. I'm tired of all these coward Americans in the South.
Swearing the fedora too. This shit used to be hard to work for, bro.
They're so tough.
This would be hard to work for this.
You don't even run your own country. You don't run your own country, bro. You don't run your own country. A foreign country named Israel runs your country. Oh my God, bro! I love you, Hasan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you. You're like my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hold on, I think I look gay though. Hold on.
Okay.
The funny thing about me, I don't like terrorism, and I don't like terrorists. If they're Jews, Christians, Muslims, they're all bad. What is terrorism? It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals. I don't like it, none of it. And over time, I started to learn that my co-host, he really likes terrorists.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. I know.
I don't need to preface this. I could just let the clip play. However, you need to understand that what you're looking at is a terroristic propaganda video that he tries to sell to his black associate as a musical. Dead ass. Real shit.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
Taking over these ships, they started targeting the ships.
People on this helicopter right now?
Yes.
They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
The terrorists are flexing. They're flexing. They're committing war crimes. They're flexing, bro. Bro, they're flexing.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrent. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say. But they are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well,
he is regarded as a pretty brilliant person in terms of like everything that he's done.
Then I saw clips like this where Hassan is explaining how he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America, in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way for places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, you know, social democratic ideas.
I just wanted to like put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel where, for example, Hassan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then they start looking into this new idea, etc., and then move forwards through the funnel, get more and more informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck.
You do your part for the funnel of the cause. You get these children to be fucking terrorists, Hassan. You do your part and make them into terrorists.
You wanna call it, you're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Now listen to Hassan during our very first conversation lie to me about how he's a social democrat to hide his power level.
We should move towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style economy, which would be a social democracy.
You have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda.
With robust social safety nets.
Called radicalization funnel, catch them while they're young, as they say.
And protections for workers, like higher unionization rates.
A lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
Hell, he's proclaimed it loudly that he is a self-described propagandist.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no,
for the record.
I'm not calling
I'm
it
a propagandist.
I'm just saying. I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay, well then, I'm
saying I am.
I just
before
want to
you
put
even play it.
A propagandist is much more than someone with a bias. It's someone who knowingly lies to further their political agenda.
And then I had a terrifying vision. Had I been duped? Was Hassan presenting a Trojan horse to my community, where he was just a left-leaning Democrat like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them against me?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
I learned how much he hates liberals.
Dude, I hate liberals, dude. I do. I hate them. I hate them so viciously.
Did he secretly despise me this whole time?
I'm sorry, dude. I
Probably.
hate liberals so much.
Probably, yeah. Absolutely. If it was between you and him and money, absolutely. Yes, the fuck you did. Yes, sir.
Did this man sit next to me for 2 years and pretend to be my friend?
Dude, liberals are a burden on this planet, dude. Liberals are the most, like, scummy, vile, fucking idiots. Liberals are incredibly stupid. I hate these petulant liberals, dumb fucking liberals.
What else is someone this sociopathic capable of?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
That was my fear anyway. Regardless of his true beliefs, that broke my trust in him, and I pretty much ended the show immediately. And I felt guilty for my participation in mainstreaming Hassan. And for that, I apologize. I should have done more research, and I should have looked more deeply into who I was getting in bed with before they gave me chlamydia. Sorry. Over the past year since the show ended...
Streamer chlamydia. The one thing you don't want to fucking catch. What? What's the streamer equivalent of AIDS? I suppose it's a sex crime allegation. The streamer equivalent of AIDS is a sex crime allegation.
To watch Hassan platform, promote, and propagandize terrorist organizations. And every time it happened on Twitch, I would say, man, this time surely he went too far and someone's got to do something. But as the time went on, nothing happened, and his views got more and more radical and more disturbing. I feel it's my obligation, after mainstreaming someone like Hassan, to take this on. And so it was war. Nuclear war.
I stand before you following the footsteps of intellectual giants.
One thing we've been hearing for
nothing
weeks.
but a simple man.
Now,
A simple man who understands right from wrong.
Yeah. You're an influential voice to a lot of people.
I'm an idiot, I'm a dumb bimbo, I don't know what I'm talking about. I've gotten numb to this. It's not. As a matter of fact, I seek it out because I make content out of it. I think it's funny and fun.
And there are baby settlers.
Pretty much just the content of Hatred TV. I have not gone over Hatred TV live on air, so I suppose we will have to do that on Monday. Yeah, I'll have to do that on Monday. Please remind me if I forget horror.
It doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen.
Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this.
Ooh-wee, what is this? It is the content nuke that we have been visited upon by Ethan Klein. It's old form Ethan Klein. He's putting boot to asses, Gray. He's putting boot to asses. I'll write a note down then.
This video. ExpressVPN is an app that lets you change your location. Let's see what you can do with this power. Well, you can sign up for Netflix from a different country, but why would you want to do that? It was $14. It's now $3.66. Okay, but it even gets better than that. Netflix and all the streaming apps have different catalogs for each region. So let's say, for example, I want to watch some Dragon Ball Z Broly, but it's not available in the USA. Psych! All you need to do is switch locations to Canada, refresh, and boom! That easy and fast, Dragon Ball Z time. I use these websites to help find whatever shows I'm looking for. You can type in the show you want, and it will show you which region to connect to.
But what if you just did piracy, son? What if I was just a pirate? Because if they're not willing to provide the service, then I'm going to freeboot it from where I can be able to find it. Because if they wanted me to not do that, they would have done so in a method that was legal for me to do. Yo ho fiddly dee.
The amount of content I have access to is insane. It's super easy to use. It's an app you connect to, and then
Now, to be granted, I actually do have ExpressVPN, but I almost never use this. The only time that I do use it is when it's time to go pirating.
you pick which country you want to connect to. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Go to expressvpn.com/H3H3 for 4 free months, or scan the QR code, or go to the link in the description. Thank you so much to ExpressVPN. And now, back to our program. Meanwhile, at Twitch HQ, the marketing team is strategizing on a new advertising vertical.
My friends at Twitch headquarters, the executives, the influencers, Hassan, nice to see you, Frogan, front row. I am here to present to you an extraordinarily exciting opportunity. We have not tapped this market yet. Now don't panic, okay? Because you're gonna wanna panic when I tell you, but listen and learn. Who's billions of dollars, eager to spend it? And what, people are too cowardly to reach out and take the money?
Not us.
Terrorism. Terrorism. Twitch is perfect. You could broadcast it straight into the veins of 18 to 35-year-old men. So here's what I'm suggesting. Hassan Piker. Yeah, we'll get drinks after the show. No, you. He's such a great guy. No, you. Give it up for Hassan Piker, everybody. Happy birthday, buddy. This dude can package anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism like nobody else. In fact, you guys got him on the front page. And he's doing terrorism for free. Basically, gentlemen and gentle ladies, Frogan, you look good today, girl.
Babe?
Girl, you look good. Great job on that Arab tier list. That was good.
What a good sketch. Just take it all in, absorb it. For some of you, you are missing the context to why this shit's important. What you need to understand is that
gentle ladies, Frogan, you look.
Frogan the Hutt here is an anti-American, well, anti-American anti-Semite who has the privilege of saying that soldiers deserve to get PTSD for fighting in wars that she's not contracted to fight, while working alongside.
Look good today, girl.
Babe?
Girl, you look good. Great job.
Hassan and the Anti-Semi Squad, which includes people like Denims, who has decided to come out within the last, 2-3 days, and decide to tack herself onto the accusation against Destiny for clout. That they all decided to be antagonistic towards Israelis, as well as Ethan Klein himself, hoping that nobody would broadcast it and platform it on a large screen scale, kind of like he is right now.
On that Arab tier list. That was good. How much we get for that? Yo, you got 10 million from Qatar for that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Twitch! Here's the thing, with help from people like Hassan, terrorism is like in the eyes of the beholder, right? They're not terrorists, they're, go ahead, he knows. Freedom fighters, guys. We are fighting for freedom. What about the rapes and the murders? Don't mention that. What's wrong with you? And another one. The resistance isn't perfect.
Straight eggs, no bacon.
What?
What the fuck are you doing? I'm doing many things! What a way to end the month, guys. This, technically, is this counter-terrorists versus terrorists? Is this truly another form of CSGO that we're watching live in air? Is he solo bagging 5 Arab streamers all at once on his channel? Counter-terrorists win. I'm belligerent. Do not let your dreams be memes. Yes, Grace, he did lose weight. And he did not do it through Ozempics. He did it the old-fashioned way. Fucking dog shit out of his woman. I joke, but he does have 3 kids. All male.
Gotta crack some eggs, man. Hassan, you know Socialism didn't buy you that car.
If I knew that this is what communism would be in 2024, I wouldn't have bothered with this shit. Really. Abort is the symbol of the capitalist excess. What the fuck is he thinking? You guys actually believe this idiot is a socialist? Forget a religion. Hassan is the opiate of the masses. Straight to the gulag for anyone soft to this idiot.
Or that designer dog?
This breed's stunning fluffy coat comes with a price. Chow Chows shed all year.
Very cute, by the way, but those are expensive. The point is, we have the biggest political streamer on our platform that is influencing media and influencing young kids everywhere. If we can normalize terrorism, if we could rebrand it, then fuck the US Navy. You know how much those guys don't pay shit. You see the army ads on Twitch? The army is fucking broke, dude. I'll tell you who loves America more than the army. Qatar. Well, I don't know if love's the right word, though. They're paying more. Good CPMs coming out of Qatar. But you kids love anime, right? Can't get enough of it. But look at what we've already done with Hassan. You're the fucking man, dude. Happy birthday again, man. No, we got a big party for you after. No, don't do it. Let's wait, because we got a big party and a cake and everything for you after in the back. Prostitutes, too. Don't tell anyone. That's part of the past. Look what we've done already. This Houthi pirate.
Yes. Timothy Houthi Chalamet.
Who are you kidding? This guy's a fucking terrorist. He literally tweeting out he wants to kill Jews and put their heads on pikes. And somehow, not somehow, because of his genius, we have rebranded the Houthi fucking pirates, the Houthi terrorist organization. Yeah, the Islamic fundamentalists. Death to America, curse upon the Jews. That's right. That's the Jolly Roger of this man here. None other than Monkey D. Luffy. So let's get out there, guys, and let's make 2025 our biggest year, guys. Come on, guys. The resistance isn't perfect. The resistance isn't perfect. Yeah, let's get them. If you want to know where on the political spectrum Hassan sits, take a look at a recent media analysis by Ad Fonte, which rated Hassan as the most extreme left-wing, untrustworthy media source on the internet.
Yes.
And to give you an idea, he is opposite of InfoWars. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Hassan loves all terrorists, but what I will say is that there isn't many he don't like. Let's start with our good friend Luffy here and his organization, the Houthis.
And yes, this is what it looks like. They are hiling Hitler.
The Houthis are an Islamic military group.
Oh,
they're known
so
for
good.
their cruel measures, forcibly recruiting child soldiers, shelling civilian areas, and blocking food from entering already famine-ruined parts of Yemen. They've also set up landmines in agricultural spots, making the field.
Oh, that's wonderful. Let's read that headline.
Recruiting child soldiers, shelling civilian areas, and blocking food from entering already famine-ruined parts of Yemen. They've also set up landmines.
Yemen army removes over 300,000 Houthi landmines in liberated areas.
In agricultural spots, making the fields virtually worthless. Women have virtually no rights.
So you can't even grow the food so that you can naturally be able to have food, and then they control the food that comes into the region. Truthfully, freedom fighters. Shadow the Hedgehog would approve.
And homosexuality, of course, is punishable by death. That lines up with leftist values. Now, just how little rights do women in the Houthis Yemen have? Well, according to this, there's been 1,181 violations committed by Houthi rebels against women, including torture, rape, and murder. So, not great. The Houthis have a very wholesome flag, as you can see here. It says, translated, Allah Akbar, death to America, death to Israel, and a curse upon the Jews. And that's all of them, not just the ones in Israel. And of course, victory to Islam. I get amused when these terrorists are like, we hate Jews. We want to kill Jews. And then people like Hassan are like, you're fucking racist for saying that they just want to kill Jews and that they're terrorists, man.
What you meant to say is Hezbollah is Muslim.
You're not thinking deep enough about this topic.
My criticisms of the Houthis' slogan do not factor in to what they are doing. Of course, it is anti-Semitic, but
Your criticism of their mandate and thus their formulation of the 3 no's, which is no peace with Israel, no deals with Israel, and there is only one state, which is the Palestinian Arab state, because there can be no Jewish state. It is not indicative of your criticism of them, meaning that you support them wholeheartedly. You just want to control the optics about how you choose to support them, Hassan. The useful idiots go first, you know.
Contextualizing it matters. Yeah, it's really interesting because like that is such Western focused propaganda. Like for a Palestinian to arrive at anti-Semitic opinions, okay, they don't need to read Mein Kampf.
Oh, I almost forgot the most fun one. They brought back slavery.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do.
That lines up with leftist values. All right, so these guys are clearly the bad guys. So my question is,
How does Hassan cover such a genocidal, violent, misogynistic, homophobic, terroristic organization?
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way. Just so you know, these fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah.
These musically gifted individuals.
I'm gonna grab my food.
I'm so confused. What is
اسأل أصحاب الفخامة والمعالي واسألوا عن الحشود العسكري يوم سيطرنا على الخوبة بآلي ما نبالي بالهمر والمدفع.
Yes, he left you alone in the room with a terrorist video.
That's right, my friend. Hassan just played straight up terrorist propaganda without even being there to analyze it. Surely this must be against terms of service. Twitch does not allow content that depicts, glorifies, encourages, or supports terrorism or violent extremist actors. For example, displaying or linking terrorist or extremist propaganda even for the purpose of denouncing such content. Denouncing? Okay, but what's the rule for endorsing it? Is that okay? The answer is yes, as Hassan was never punished for this blatant violation of Twitch community guidelines. Got it. So denouncing terrorism is bad. Don't do that. Endorsing terrorism is good. Okay, got it, Twitch.
What is going on?
The fact that he's letting it run on is a little bit concerning. I might have to fast forward through it because I don't know how much of it will automatically get claimed onto YouTube and cause me to get a strike. Hopefully that's not the case because his video is still up, but who knows? It could fuck with Twitch.
This is a 3-minute video of... What do you mean a music video? When you said music video, I'm expecting like, bad example, Chris Brown dancing, you know?
No. They do like, they do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you, look, you think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
No, it is. They do musicals about like their fucking, like their actions all the time.
Hold on, guys, hold on. I've got this. Instead of terrorist propaganda, let's call it musicals.
They do musicals.
Instead of violent jihadists, let's call them musically talented people.
They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Guys, let's just use our brains. Fiddler on the Roof, Wicked, Alexander Hamilton, man. There's no reason we can't put these Houthis on Broadway.
Well, they go, listen, you want to fucking bring a ship through here? We're going to take it. So that's exactly what the Houthis start doing. They start fucking sending in helicopters onto fucking ships. Bro, they fucking, look at this. They got the Palestinian flag that they painted under the helicopter with the Yemen flag. They fucking they start overtaking the ships. And they're like, guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel. If you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli subsidiary, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, we're gonna take over your ship. You cannot fucking use this trade route anymore. Guess what, bitch? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're gonna enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza.
So let's review his claims. His first claim is that the boat is headed for Israel. It's not. It's going from Turkey to India. Next claim is that it's owned by an Israeli company. It's not. It's being chartered by a Japanese company, and the boat's owners are registered in the Isle of Man. I'd like to remind everybody that the crew that's kidnapped in this video has been missing for over a year now with zero updates on their health, whereabouts, or anything. That lines up with leftist values. Hassan's third claim is that this attack happened in their territorial waters, which is also a lie. It happened in international waters. Hassan is lying for the Houthis like he's being paid. And honestly, at this point,
technically, he is being paid. He's being paid in subs and donos. Every single donation that happens on his channel concerning his coverage of the news is effectively a person actively demonstrating that they can, in fact, get away with malicious levels of lying that only would be defended against if somebody was willing to expose the fact that he's willing to do it the way that he does in front of a live studio broadcast. That is the only way that you could be able to hold him to account for what he is choosing to do on his broadcasts. That is the only way. Granted, if you were to actually subpoena for this money, I doubt anything would come of it. But if you actually wanted to subpoena for that money, you could be able to take him to court. You could be able to try him as a terrorist. It's entirely possible. It won't go anywhere. But it's entirely possible.
Is he?
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
No, I'm not calling
I'm a
it that. I'm just
propagandist.
saying-
This is like a hostile. They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrent. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
I find it disturbing that Hassan thinks that a slowdown of imports is going to cause Jews to flee Israel. 80% of Israelis were born there and do not have citizenship anywhere else. So where do you want them to go, Hassan? Back to Poland or back to the Arab countries they were forced out of?
Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
By telling the Jews of Israel to go back where they came from, Hassan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is despite the fact that 60% of Jews in Israel are actually native to the Middle East.
This is wild.
So these guys did all of this, right? They did all of this.
Is that their helicopter?
Yeah.
That looks like a legit helicopter.
It is a legit helicopter.
This is wild.
So they take it over, they take it over, they take it over, and they tell the people in the ship, it's usually like mostly Filipino people, Filipino crews, and they're like, all right, well, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us, we're taking over the ship.
What an incredible way to characterize having a gun in your face. Hassan is asking us not to believe our own eyes as we watch terrorists hostilely kidnap the crew.
We got no problems with you, but you're coming with us, we're taking over the ship.
And once again, the crew is still MIA for over a year, prisoners to a terrorist organization. But don't worry, guys, Hassan says they have no problem with them.
They're like, all right, well, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us.
Oh, his look of fucking fear in his eyes does not amount to what he then said on Destiny's Own podcast later on that week. Unfortunately, those clips have been lost to time. Fuck.
This is a 3-minute video of... What do you mean a music video? When you said music video, I'm expecting like... are you being serious? I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
I bet Hassan's friend...
Oh god. Okay. I need to make sure to take a screen cap. I need to make sure to take a screen cap of all the memorabilia that he's stacking onto these shelves behind him. Because this in itself is more than enough to say about Hasan Piker's fucking career on Twitch. That for all this shit that he has, and for all the stuff he's packed into his fucking mansion, this is probably the best view that you could ever give a person who's completely unaware of what Hasan Piker does, a breakdown of exactly who he is at the core of his being. Honestly, he should have made t-shirts to go along with the sale of this video. Honestly, he should make t-shirts that has this as an image from like the front to the back. I don't know if Ethan Klein could get away with that though. I'd buy one.
I bet Hassan's friend really appreciated being fed terrorist propaganda on camera. Let's see what he had to say.
Because hell, even a couple days ago, I was hanging out with my buddy Hassan, and this guy unironically put a...
Ah, good. He has the Dan clips. Congratulations.
Put a terrorist propaganda music video on and then left the room.
Left the room?
Yeah, and I was just like... And the thing is, like, in hindsight, it's hilarious, But at the same time, I'm like, what is going on here? This is wild to me.
Yeah.
But like, I just, and like, he was like, yo, they're such great dancers. Like,
oh my god.
I was like, okay. Wait, is that how it works? If you watch like a politics TikTok, you get recommended Hassan right after? Is that how it works? Bro, he's all over this page. That's crazy. Click it. Dude, Hassan be saying some wild stuff, man. So I don't know if we can.
Here's another incident of Hassan enjoying some Houthi propaganda.
Just casually sipping on the drink.
How can they not agree with the Houthis when this is the kind of music video that they're coming out with? They got a...
How can they not agree with the terrorists, bro? Look at how fucking musically inclined they are, bro. Bro, why do people not want to be a part of the terrorist organization? Look at how good their music is, bro. Bro.
A beautiful voice too. Yeah, Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude. The fucking mixtape.
Oh, Hassan, my sweet, naive friend. You say that Jews don't sing and dance like that? Then what the fuck do you call this? That's right, bitch. What the fuck you stepping on our shit?
I don't know if this is... No, this doesn't look like Eurovision. This probably looks like more of a stage play in a school somewhere. But okay. I see you, Ethan. Alright. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah, Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude. The fucking mixtape. Got a beautiful voice too. Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude.
Every single edit is here. Every single meme edit is here.
Israel been real quiet since this drop, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it really is a return to form for Ethan Klein. Holy shit.
We got it.
Houthis been real quiet since this drop, dude.
Now we come to our sweet, beautiful, cute little TikTok twink. This hairless young man is the fantasy of every tween and twix and all the boys and girls on TikTok. He's cute. He's got a mustache. He's a freedom fighter. Beautiful eyes. They call him Timothée Chalamet because he's a Houthi.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean? Excuse me? Of course I'm about to have a... I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism. It's so weird. It's so weird. Motherfuckers want journalism, and when I'm trying to do journalism, they go, why are you doing that? Bro, you are going to get banned? I think it would be ridiculous to do that.
Hassan now has the opportunity to express his journalistic chops, to get his boots on the ground and show us just how good of a reporter he can be.
I'm doing journalism, chat. Does he know what One Piece is?
He's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. Yes. We love you too, man. Big time. Yeah.
I love you. I love you so much.
We're big fans of the Yemeni music videos. You can tell him that. I want to ask him about the knife. The knives are sick. What's up with the knives? You know, the curved knives.
If one of those knives comes out in front of you, it's not going back until it has blood on it.
Oh, okay. My bad. Well, I mean, I think it's cool though. That's so crazy. So they're just chilling with the captains? Like, I don't understand.
The crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
Make them hate America and the U.S. government.
I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism. It's so weird. It's so weird. Motherfuckers want journalism, and when I'm trying to do journalism, they go, why are you doing that? What do you mean? I'm just chilling. We're just vibing. Yeah, we're just vibing. We're vibing big time.
Hassan uncritically interviewed this kid for about an hour. It was the most brazen, display of disgusting terrorist propaganda that I have maybe ever seen in Western media.
What has happened to, does he know what has happened to any of the crews? Like, I heard they...
Hassan almost asked a good question, but it's actually leading to the most obscene part of this interview.
He's saying he hasn't spent much time with Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did qat with them, and he danced some music with them, and he was vibing, so he likes them, yeah.
So, I mean, what... That's so crazy. So they're just chilling with the captains? Like, I don't understand.
Ask yourself, why is he able to hang out with the captain and the crew of this pirated ship? Why would he even have access to that? Hassan knows why. Of course, he is a Houthi terrorist. Instead of challenging him and demanding more details about these kidnapped and missing people, he just runs defense for this guy, acting like he doesn't know why that would even happen.
He's saying that they went over the
And the entire time that he's doing it, he's staring at his Twitch chat because he's looking at the messages that are highlighted for himself, like he always does.
He crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
That's so funny.
It is super funny, the idea of kidnapped crew members who are being forced, probably at gunpoint, to do some death to Americas and maybe some curse upon the Jews. And frankly, the callous disregard for the well-being of the literal hostages is shocking, even for somebody that loves terrorists.
That's so funny. Is there a KFC there? They're everywhere. I don't think there's a KFC in Yemen, dog.
He says they have two.
Oh, they do have KFC in Yemen? That's crazy. Okay, that's sick.
Is there a KFC in Yemen? No way, dude! Holy fuck! There's a KFC in Yemen! He's just like us!
Does he know what
Blowing your voice out there.
I would if he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. That's fire. That's so fire. Oh my god. We think the Houthis on
Please tell me he's gonna put that on the backout board of the Queen of England. Please tell me that he puts that up there like that.
Doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
You guys all remember Luffy's flag, right? Now, I'm only halfway through that show, so maybe I just haven't come to it yet. But I do not remember Luffy's flag looking like this. Predictably, there was some blowback after this interview, and Hassan went immediately into damage control to rewrite history.
He said that he was just simply a Yemeni person and not a Houthi. Yeah, I mean, we don't even know if he's a Houthi or not. He's a teenager in Yemen.
We don't even know if he's a Houthi or not. Despite the fact you first introduced him onto your stream as a Houthi, and then communicated with him, and then cheered on him being banned and then unbanned. First, asking for people to go support him on Twitch, then asking for people to support him on Twitter as he's getting his accounts invoked and revoked, and then when Dan brought it up and showed that he was unbanned on the platform, and then him being rebanned again, that it caused confusion amongst people wondering, wait, why is he being banned if he's done nothing wrong?
The dude is neither a Houthi, nor a terrorist, nor a pirate, is not a Houthi rebel. They didn't fucking call him a Houthi either. You want to know why? Because he's not one. He's not a Houthi himself. He's not a pirate, but, you know, I don't think he's not a pirate. He has reiterated the position that he is not a Houthi. Trust me, bro, I'm not Houthi. Be for real. You sucked him off the entire stream. Not even a Houthi militant or anything like that. When I interviewed the dude who they still to this day call a Houthi terrorist, Tim Houthi's not even a fucking Houthi. I thought he wasn't a Houthi because he's not. No, he was just some fucking Yemeni TikToker. Random fucking Yemeni teenager. Didn't you brand it as him being a Houthi interview though? Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean?
All right, let's just take Hassan's word for it and assume, okay, this kid is not a Houthi rebel. He's just some ordinary Yemen teenager. Let's go ahead and take a look at his social media and see if that lines up. All right, let's see here. Tel Aviv will burn in the coming hours. Ready for sacrifice and eager for martyrdom. Maybe he's talking about football? Here he is singing a song with the words, "Do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew?" Meaning of Houthi is a title, and it's not something to fear, but for the Jews. They are very afraid of this title. The execution we will carry out on all Zionists, with the lovely depiction of a man impaled through his asshole and out of his mouth with a pike, or how Hassan likes to say it, a pike for a Okay, why would he retweet this article called Houthis use social media to boost global prominence and support? Israel falls. Wait for the new operation in Tel Aviv. The Jaffa drone, which no Israeli defense can stop. The ships we bombed and sank. I know the red arrow is supposed to be a cool military Hamas thing. This is a butt plug. Just saying. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and Zionist is clearly interchangeable to this guy.
You know what I find interesting?
Plug. Just saying. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach.
It's less
and
legible
let me
here.
state the...
You know what I find interesting? The anti-capitalist terrorist paid for Twitter Blue. Even unironic genocidal bigots gotta get down early so you can see that hatred. We live in a clown world, bro. We live in a fucking clown world. There's fun. There's humorous fun. It's humorous fun for everyone.
The obvious. Jew and Zionist is clearly interchangeable to this guy. Okay, but hating Jews doesn't make you a Houthi. Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive. You know what makes you a Houthi? Being a Houthi. At least one of the two of them is being honest about it.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. Yes. That's fire. And that's so fire. Oh my god. We think the Houthis is doing what Houthi would do.
A fucking shrine. Yes! Oh no. He put the three no's on top of the Queen of England, unfortunately. No. Like, at some point you gotta put something on top of the dog, no? Got plenty of space here. You got plenty of space left, though.
They're tweeting an image of a Jewish person on a pike. I don't understand why this problem can't be approached with nuance. Because he is a teenager in Yemen, dude.
Talk about the bigotry of low expectations. He's a kid in Yemen, dude. What do you expect? Of course he's gonna want to put a pike through a Jew's asshole and through his mouth. That's just what kids in Yemen are like, man.
And also, what do you mean? It's just a person on a pike. There's no Jewish person on a pike on that photo, unless I saw something different.
Hassan claims this isn't even a Jewish person on the pike. How exactly is a naked, piked person supposed to look like a Jew for you, Hassan? You know what? You're right. Let me make it a little clearer for you. First, he needs a bigger nose. Right,
Hassan? Welcome back, Ethan Klein. Welcome back.
The curly things. Oh, look, Hassan. He dropped his dreidel. He must be Jewish for sure. Or, you know, you could just read what he wrote, you dumbass, liar, terrorist-loving, propagandist piece of shit.
Come on. You have to say the line. You should have called him a Weasley little liar, dude.
This is why this entire conversation is fucking idiotic. It's not a Jewish person. He said this is, I think if we're... Why am I held accountable for some random fucking 19-year-old in Yemen's tweets? What is happening? How many steps removed are we from this situation?
0? I mean, you platformed him, do you not remember? Did the check not clear or something? When faced with fair criticism for his coverage of the Houthi Luffy, he has a total meltdown.
I fucking despise all of you, dude. I do. I really do. I hate all of you. You successfully got me to talk about this, and my patience is running thin on this matter. The endless selfishness, the untapped well of American selfishness and American individualism is in full display. How is this the conversation that you want to have right now?
One of the most cynical methods Hassan deploys to sidestep any criticism is to deflect to the ongoing genocide in Gaza. I've seen him do this so many times. He frames it like you are selfish for trying to criticize him, no matter what the reason is, because there's a genocide happening, man. How can you criticize me at a time like this?
Claiming that I am, you know, too pro-Houthi. When someone is like focusing on that while there's an active fucking ethnic cleansing campaign happening. He also apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
You know, it would not help if that's the case that you're going with as your cope there, because when you say he's only known genocide, people are going to ask you, for what? And it's going to be really hard for you to fight back against that, because you're not going to be able to say for what.
Middle of fucking talking about fucking genocide in Gaza, and this dumb fuck, blow your nose, brother, love you, not trying to be mean, just keep some tissue nearby and clear it out occasionally when needed, much love. Fuck you, dude. My argument sucks? You think it justifies genocide? What are you, stupid? Everything that can be tangentially turned into like Jewish people are under attack is a decent way to just like drive discourse away from open genocide in Gaza. If your sole focus when Israel is doing a complete genocide in Gaza, if your sole focus revolves around that people are saying you're a Zionist, yeah, go fucking yell at streamers for not covering sufficiently the ongoing active genocide in Gaza instead of coming in here and fucking chirping at me.
It's quite a charge to just say, I'm a stenographer of the Israeli government or I'm a propagandist. I don't think there's any evidence I'm either of those things. I'm curious who you think I am doing
While
the
we're having this conversation, 3,000... Pierce, while we're having this back and forth, 3,840 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered in the last incursion into Gaza. I feel like this is an incredibly selfish, self-centered conversation to have.
This technique is so powerful because everyone is afraid of being labeled as a genocide denier. Pierce Morgan, with decades of experience, immediately surrenders when the genocide card is pulled.
When you're just a fucking stenographer.
It's actually interesting that he fucking made it a white card. Genocide. Instant. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn. Spells cast before are resolved or unaffected. Take a quiet moment to reflect on your sins. Clough Order of the Redeemed Souls. You could actually play this as a mono white card, dude. The memes! The layers of memes you have to go to get this shit right!
Everyone is afraid of being labeled as a genocide denier. Pierce Morgan, with decades of experience, immediately surrenders when the genocide card is pulled.
When you're just a fucking stenographer, you're not a truth teller.
He has every right to defend himself. And grow a pair, Pierce. Stand up for yourself, man. It's time to stop being intimidated by these online overnight activists who couldn't even point to Gaza on a map before October 7th. Like Hassan, for example.
Doesn't know where Yemen is? Okay, I'm gonna click close. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I think Nope. 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 Got it.
The fact that he could not figure that out despite having covered it for literally at least a month and a half at that point. Priceless.
How can you claim to actually care about this genocide when you're willing to so cynically exploit it to sidestep any criticism? What a bigot. Before we move on, Hassan has one final taste of idiocy for us all to enjoy.
Now this kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him. Which means that for most of his life, he has withstood genocide, right? Like he is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically, okay? Being able to talk to Anne Frank in real time.
To quote Anne Frank, I keep my ideals because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. Anne Frank continues to inspire generations of people because in the face of a genocide that eventually took her and her entire family's life, except for her
okay, he said
dad, she refused.
Not everybody, just everybody but the dad.
To give in to hate, malice, and violence. And then there's this guy, who would have killed Anne Frank if he ever met her.
True.
You might think this is a sweet, innocent girl. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys we are working on a new edition just for you, Hassan. You should hear about the time she went roaming the streets of Berlin at night with a knife, slitting the throats of families, including children, babies, and the elderly. She's killed children, you guys. She even rapes people. She's just like Luffy. There is no other way to describe this than terrorist propaganda. Not only is he platforming terrorist propaganda, right, uncritically, he's participating in it. He's enhancing it. He is not just a conduit. He is an active participant who's disseminating it to more and more people in a way more consumable form. This is extremely fucked up. But why should he care? Their flag doesn't say death to fucking Turks. It says curse upon the Jews. Hassan likes to obfuscate on this and says nobody cares when Sean Penn interviewed El Chapo.
Sean Penn literally interviewed El Chapo. Exactly, dude.
Nobody is saying you can't have difficult conversations with controversial people. You just have to ask them hard questions, guys. We know this. Now let's move on to everybody's favorite terrorist organization, our friends in the north. It's Hezbollah. Where do I even
I was wondering who's going to get to Hezbollah.
begin? Thousands of civilians have been killed globally from their terrorist acts, car bombs, and suicide attacks. They even assassinated the Lebanese prime minister. They've hijacked civilian airplanes. They've shot 15,000 rockets into civilian centers. And if you can imagine, that's not even the worst things they've done. They participated in the slaughter of over 500,000 Syrian civilians to help a dictator, Bashar Assad, stay in power. They indiscriminately bombed over civilian centers, and they killed hundreds of thousands of civilians in what can only be described as a genocide. They are a designated terrorist group by the US, by the EU, and, oh yeah, the entire Arab League, which gave them that status after their participation in the Syrian genocide. In short, nobody likes them. Well,
except
there's
for
one person.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
They are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well, like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.
This is Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah. According to Hassan Piker, this man is a brilliant freedom fighter. But before we get into that, let's see how he feels about Jewish people. Here are some choice quotes from Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah. According to Shaul Shai,
it just so happens to be so convenient that his name is Hassan because every single time he says it, he doesn't have to even necessarily correct himself. I hope that's a joke.
Hassan Nasrallah said in a speech delivered in Beirut, what do the Jews want? They want security and money. Throughout history, the Jews have been Allah's most cowardly and avaricious creatures. If you look all over the world, you will find no one more miserly or greedy than they are.
I don't have an issue with them.
If we search the entire world for a person more cowardly, despicable, weak, and feeble in psyche, mind, ideology, and religion, we would not find anyone like the Jew. Notice, I do not say Israeli.
I don't have an issue with them.
If Jews all gathered in Israel, it will save us the trouble of going after them worldwide. The history of Jews has proven that, regardless of the Zionist proposal, they are a people who are evil in their ideas. The state of the grandsons of apes and pigs, the Zionist Jew, the murderers of the prophet. The Jews invented the legend of the Nazi atrocities.
I don't have an issue with them.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen. You have to remember something, okay?
What do we have to
a lot of these
remember,
dudes, you see them in their fucking fits, and you hear about
their fits. They are militant, they're militant religious robes that are a part of the militant faith tradition of Islam. That, if we're being serious, it's very hard to be able to suggest that there is such a thing as a moderate form of Islam, because anything that is moderated and controls for the most extreme elements that are to the most indoctrined no longer is Islam. It's Islamism. Or if you want to be more accurate, Wahhabism. The militant form of Islam specifically designed to destroy the West.
about like some of their attitudes about like gay people, for example, and you immediately fucking resort to Orientalist perspectives, not realizing that these motherfuckers are better read than you by a million. Okay? Like, it's not it's not a broken clock situation. No, dude. Half of these dudes literally get educated in a...
See, I know where that sound effect is from. That sound effect is from fucking... That sound effect is from Chrono Trigger.
America and in the UK. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
The more you learn...
This is why it's Orientalist. To literally look at these dudes and go, oh no, they're fucking barbaric baboons. And like, sometimes they get this shit right. No, dude, he knows. It's crazy. He's read more books than you could ever imagine. Knowledge. And also, ultimately, he is, regarded as a pretty brilliant a person in terms of like everything that he's done. You might not agree with his methods. You might not agree with his attitude overall in terms of like in terms of his opinions on civil liberties and shit like that. But ultimately, this motherfucker has read a shit ton of books.
Knowledge.
A shit
I
ton
feel
of
I've shown
books.
you guys enough evidence that Hezbollah is an
You do this for a living, and that's the best you could fucking say and do, Hassan. That was the best that you could fucking give.
evil terrorist organization. But have you considered this?
What you meant to say is Hezbollah is Muslim. Okay? That's what you meant to say. What you meant to say is they're Muslim. So of course, as they're Muslim, it's different.
If you're wondering why Hassan's audience is so radicalized, it's because of stuff like this.
Israel, America's greatest ally, the most important country in the world, the most moral nation, the most moral democracy on the planet, is ruthlessly and mercilessly bombing southern Lebanon, including southern Beirut.
What did Lebanon do?
They just kind of were there. They happen to be Israel's neighbor.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Even as someone who's critical of Israel, this retelling is fucking insane.
They just kind of were there.
Hezbollah started launching rockets into Israel hours after the October 7th raid began. They launched 12,000 rockets, killed nearly 100 people, including 12 children, and displaced 250,000 Israelis from northern Israel. That's what caused them to respond.
What did Lebanon do?
Shit. Why did he ask that? What do I say? Do I tell him the real reason? No, my audience will kill me for being a Zionist.
You even got the AI voice for the spit.
Okay, let's try this. They just kind of were there. Hell yeah, another slick political saved by boots on the ground Hassan Piker. Damn, I'm good.
Even as a pro-Palestine activist, how does lying about this serve your agenda? All it does is further radicalize people. It removes any nuance, and it avoids any criticism for his team. And this is what continues to drive this conflict on forever. Hassan is dedicated to pleasing his radical audience, even at the price of knowingly lying to them for TikTok and Twitter likes.
I'm a propagandist.
Or he's being paid, which, you know, we can't rule out. What a pathetic propagandist piece of shit liar he is.
Come on, where's the wheezy little liar dude? Come on! You have had like multiple opportunities to say the line.
Now, let's move to Hamas, the catalyst for this entire thing. They're the ones that committed this horrible act of terrorism, one of the worst the world has ever seen, on October 7th. They are without a doubt the most extreme of all of these terrorist organizations. They are Islamic jihadists that want to convert all of Israel into an Islamic state under Sharia law. That's their stated goal. Hamas has been on the designated terrorist group pretty much as long as there's been a group. These guys have been suicide bombing civilians before ISIS leaders were even born. They fired 50,000 rockets into civilian populations and performed over 100 suicide bombings, killing thousands of civilians. Women are restricted from participating in the workplace and public life. Homosexuality is outlawed, and in some cases, of course, punishable by death. They steal foreign aid from the people of Gaza and repurpose it for military use, or they just sell it back to them. For example, why are all the Hamas leaders billionaires?
And let's be real, these guys clearly are not skipping any meals. While the people of Gaza languish in poverty, these fine gentlemen are living in multi-million-dollar penthouses in Qatar.
That lines up with leftist values. Or, well, they were billionaires. Because they're all dead.
Yeah. Now, on the answer of why they're
penthouses in Qatar.
The answer,
that lines up with leftist
the answer
values. Or,
to this,
well,
ironically enough,
were billionaires.
Ironically enough, they have all of this money because of esports. I hate the fact that that happens to be the correct answer. They have the money because of esports. Esports gave them the money totals that they could then use to be able to use for good propaganda and for good coverage. I hate the fact that that is the answer to that question.
They're all dead. They killed it all. They're all dead. Hamas is a bunch of psychopathic terrorists of the worst order. And nobody would be crazy enough to defend them. Now, is this Islam again? Hassan defended Hamas? Seriously? Okay.
We had to make last-minute changes to this part to prevent it from being age-restricted on YouTube. I cut out the footage from Hamas, and I will attempt to narrate it for you as best I can. In this scene, an older woman is walking hand in hand with a girl who looks about 12, and as they're getting in the back of the van, one of the terrorists gives them a wave goodbye and says goodbye to them in English.
Goodbye. Welcome.
And the two of them smiling wave back.
That's crazy, dog. Dude. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. That actually, okay, that's too much. That's too much. That's more than I expect. Bro, every time they're releasing hostages, the next wave, they're gonna be like, actually, I'm good. Like, I'm staying.
These hostages are being released at gunpoint by the people who likely murdered their family in front of them before kidnapping them. Hassan peddling this narrative that they're sad to leave their captors is beyond disgusting.
The next wave, they're gonna be like, actually, I'm good.
It's plainly obvious these are traumatized victims who are scared for their life and doing what the terrorists are telling them to do in order to avoid any conflict on the way out. Oh, look at the sweet masked terrorist with his AK-47. He's so nice. Did you guys see how he waves goodbye?
Dude, okay, I'm gonna be honest. This is some crazy PR. They look traumatized as fuck. Wait, what? Bro, they look like they're chilling.
This girl who had her foot blasted off on October 7th and then operated on without anesthesia or painkillers is so sorry to say goodbye to her captors. She's gonna miss their hospitality, like being raped and being watched showering and changing.
The next wave, they're gonna be like, actually, I'm good. Like, I'm staying.
So obvious that
They mixed his voice like the fucking Samantha laugh on fucking COD Zombies. I'm beside myself, dude. No. Oh my god, I'm beside myself. Even Klein. Stop it. I can only laugh so fucking hard, man. Now, unfortunately, I know what the footage is, so I'm a little bit shell-shocked. But the imagery, I want you to imagine a video game little girl and a video game grandma. And I want you to imagine a girl with this much of her foot missing. From about here there. And then like a woman whose face has been beaten into shit. And I want you to imagine, like, you know that one ending from that one editor card at the end of, what is it? Is it American Dad or is it fucking Family Guy? The one with the security guard that's like, bye-bye, have a great time. I want you to imagine that from the victim sitting in the back of a fucking truck as they pull away in the equivalent of a desert Humvee. Put that in your head. Put that in your head, okay? Put it in your head.
terrorists are telling them what to do. Ethan, how can you say that? They look so happy. Keep waving. These morons forgot to cut out this part. Yes, that's a terrorist giving them an order to keep waving. And she does. See how fast she reacts? Totally not a fearful victim of terroristic kidnapping. Anyone peddling this nonsense should be embarrassed and ashamed. How pathetic can you get?
The next wave, they're gonna be like, actually, I'm good. Bro, they look like they're chilling.
All right, the Houthis is one thing, but he's not going to turn on Hamas propaganda videos and watch it on stream. There's no way. Okay, it's getting hard to defend him.
You put a headband on this
time. Freedom fighters, musical shit.
Here is a video that came out of how Hamas produces their own motherfucking sniper rifles.
He can hardly contain his admiration for them.
Produces their own motherfucking sniper rifle.
Let's see how long he can go without offering any commentary or analysis on this Hamas hype video.
Meanwhile, he's just chowing down. At least he eats on stream. Frogan's too fucking gentle. She has to eat off camera. She's too dainty. Which ironically in itself is funny as hell. Because she's willing to wear at least a partial niqab, not a full hijab. Because she has time to do her makeup. Sidebar, ignore me.
Is that COD?
1 minute, 36 seconds. Nice. He's taken his time to analyze and think. I expect nothing less from a journalist such as Hassan.
Quiet, everybody. He's about to speak. He's gonna talk.
That's crazy.
He's done.
Groundbreaking! Fucking groundbreaking journalism!
We will continue killing your soldiers with our locally manufactured snipers. Wow, there's a little message for the Americans out there as well.
Little message.
They're saying
for
like
the
artisanal
Americans.
snipers. So, why am I showing you this?
Good question. Why are you showing us 2 minutes of uninterrupted Hamas propaganda? I'm sure he has a good answer.
The reason why I'm showing you this is because one thing that the Israeli maintenance of the apartheid has shown us is that there are no half measures on genocide. You either got to hit the full gen, okay? You can't do half genocide, a little bit of displacement, and then continue maintaining an apartheid state and maintaining an occupation, okay? Which is basically what America did back in the day when, you know, we were building America, Manifest Destiny, right?
Hold on. You showed this to us because of Manifest Destiny? What the fuck are you talking about? This is just word salad. I mean, he's really saying nothing here. So he has no good reason. Got it.
Yes.
Okay,
no good
fine.
reason.
He likes Hamas. He watches their propaganda. But he's not going to deny the violent rapes that took place. That is way beyond the pale.
There is one instance in captivity that we have actually gotten verifiable evidence on. Beyond that, the systematized mass rapes that Hamas dealt on October 7, not a single bit of that has been verified. And people still run with it over and over and over again.
Many young people who are simply attending.
Hi, former President Harris.
Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself.
What rapes did Hezbollah do? Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking about?
Oh, lovely. Oh, yes. See, on her way out the office, Kamala Harris is now trying to help us unburden from what has been. Hezbollah. What Hezbollah. Shame on you. How could you criticize him for fucking the joke and then bout your own delivery, fuck? She is helping us unburden ourselves from what Hezbollah. Kamala 32. Is that even an election year? Yes, it is. Kamala 32.
The Stop Anti-Semitism account that considered me to be anti-Semite of the week has also been hallucinating rapes once again, doing rape fantasies once again because they're fucking mentally ill.
Hamas has committed horrific acts of sexual violence and took
women and girls, men and boys slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like,
I can't believe how quickly leftists go from believe all women to pics or it didn't happen. The vast majority of people, if not all, who were raped were murdered on the spot, obviously.
Gam Goldstein Almog was kidnapped from her home on October 7th by Hamas terrorists and was held captive for 51 days. Though only 17 years old, she witnessed the murder of her father and sister on that day and is now speaking out about what she witnessed in Gaza as well in a new documentary by Sheryl Sandberg, Screams Before Silence. In new footage, Agam reveals that sexual assault and rape was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7.
Hassan, you'd like to call her a liar. Please, go right ahead.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses, most of who were in hiding and heard or saw it happen. And each week there's more stories coming out. There's a UN report that concludes it happened.
Doesn't matter.
But Hassan needs a rape kit from a mutilated body. It's so vile to deny the suffering and trauma of the victims just because you need your heroes at Hamas to be perfect. This conflict will never end until people realize that Palestinian liberation and Israeli security are not mutually exclusive. You need both, and it can be done, but not while people like Hassan lie, propagandize, and incite hate. It's people like him, ironically, that prolong the conflict indefinitely. There's no space for conversation, there's no space for rational thought, there's no space for nuance. My position on Palestine is like 5 degrees off from where Hassan is. And to him and his community, I'm the devil, I'm a Nazi. It's delusional thinking, and it's destructive to their own cause.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me.
Please stop with fucking laugh!
God forbid you throw up the fucking green Hamas banner.
And now, let's...
Even if you can just do Hassan with the headband on a shirt, that'd be good enough. That'd honestly be good enough. Then he'd have to pick and choose whether or not it's actually based to have that as merchandise or not, because he'd have to tell his audience that actually this is super good. It's so great that people made this kind of content of me, living rent free.
Let's move on to our next terrorist organization, Twitch TV. Sinwar, Nasrallah, Dan Clancy. Of course, I'm being a little silly when I call Twitch a terrorist organization. It's only a megaphone for terrorist propaganda. Dan Clancy has been the CEO for a few years, and under his leadership, there's been a few notable instances. One being reducing the premium subscription split from 70-30 to 50-50, which he reversed after backlash. He also attempted to ban the size of sponsored logos on stream to 3% of the size of the screen, was also reversed after backlash. So he's essentially achieved nothing.
Nice.
Oh, well, there is one thing. He actually laid off 900 employees. That one he did not take back. But here's where the trouble begins. He likes Hassan. He really likes Hassan.
Let me read you an excerpt from a recent interview Dan did. Not a gamer himself, Clancy mostly watches musicians or talk shows on Twitch. He particularly enjoys leftist political commentator Hassan Piker. I like the frankness and the bluntness. He's comfortable saying whatever he believes. Don't you think that might be part of the problem there, Danny boy?
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th.
By speaking what he believes, he should be on Rumble with the other fringe radical political streamers.
Let's see, who does he have here?
There, Danny boy?
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th.
By speak.
Okay, so we've got Nikki the Knife, Alex Jones, Sneeko. Only, ironically, you think Fresh and Fit. No. Only bitch 1. Not bitch 2. Coconuts is free. Coconuts is free. Your boy Walter is breaking out. He's not being included in the fucking compilations anymore. He can leave the building. He can finally leave the building.
What he believes. He should be on Rumble with the other fringe radical political streamers. But no, not under Dan Clancy's watch. Dan has elevated him to the status of Twitch Golden Boy. And if you still have doubts, let this settle the matter. Just for clarity, Dan Clancy is the one filming and singing in this video.
Happy birthday to you.
What the fuck?
Happy birthday to you.
Bro, we're never beating the Hassan runs Twitch allegations after this. This is crazy. Oh my god.
It's nice that you admit it because you're never gonna get away from it.
Happy birthday, dear Hassan.
This is crazy.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Happy birthday from Twitch, Hassan. Happy birthday from Twitch.
I've been looking around and I genuinely have never seen another video like this anywhere, where Dan Clancy or any top executive forced all these poor sons of bitches during their lunch break to gather around in the crew room and sing happy birthday for Hassan Piker. How humiliating is that? There's also a small issue of Dan being a total creep.
Want to explore clips?
Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, Lord. I almost said yes, Zaddy, as a joke. You're memeing too hard, Carl. You're memeing too close to the sun. Okay, so, something that's extremely fucked up about Dan is that he loves to watch Twitch streamers, and by Twitch streamers, they mean Twitch Thoughts. He loves Twitch Thoughts, oh my god. Let's see it!
That's very nice.
And now you have a clips feed. Okay? Suppose you want to check out the stories to see what you missed yesterday. You click there, and now you're in your stories feed.
Stories, guys. Something that was not needed on a fucking live stream platform that has content that literally goes off air and then is no longer viable because it's all about when you're live. You know what you needed to have on the platform? Instagram! You needed fucking Instagram. And TikTok. And other platforms that have similar features like this. Snapchat! Twitch needed a Snapchat feature. By the way, they had never had an update on the fucking mobile platform for years on end. Something they admitted to live on stage while all of this was going down and happening on the platform. They bragged that this was a good thing. They bragged that it was a good thing.
Okay.
Okay. That's very nice.
Yeah.
That's also...
Okay? Okay? Suppose you want to check out the stories to see what you missed yesterday. You click there. And now you're in your stories. Okay?
And it seems that Mr. Clancy has a type.
Okay?
Which seems to be young, shiny oiled, and occasionally dyed blonde.
And now you're in your stories.
Yep, brunette, blonde, dyed blonde.
That's very nice.
Back to the blonde.
Okay.
You know, Dan, I would have let this creep narrative go. If it didn't happen twice, roll it.
You want to see clips? Swipe this way and now you're seeing clips.
I think I got it too. No. Even Richard Branson didn't go down like this, bro.
The clips are, and that's not necessarily the algorithm.
First of all, it's gross enough you're a creep, but what an incompetent idiot you are. You're the CEO of Twitch and you get caught with the fucking... You get caught with the girlies on your homepage twice? Bro, come on, dude. You got wife, man. Got daughters. We don't need to know about this. Don't want that in my head, bro. It's also a little bit disturbing considering, you know, he's these people's bosses.
Okay.
All right, so he's incompetent. He's a creep. He's protecting terrorist propagandists. So what's up? So what's the big deal with Dan Clancy? Well, what happened next is what really made me realize how corrupted and rotten Twitch is to the very core of the organization. First, let me introduce you to Frogan.
Why don't you go take a trip to Home Depot and buy some rope?
And now we get to hear from Frogan the Hut.
She's one of Hassan's main moderators. She's leading great discourse like Ethan's Islamophobic for saying, don't kill civilians.
She has zero talent. She has 100 concurrent viewers, but somehow she's always on the homepage. She's winning awards. Nobody's watching.
The awards don't matter because they're from the Streamer Awards, but the problem is that she's effectively inside of a network of content creators that is effectively Ludwig, Cutie Cinderella, Ludwig's wife, Hassan Piker, Denims, her fucking podcast members from the Arabs podcast, whose names are slipping my mind because they're fucking forgettable, and all the other members of the Hassan anti-Semite squad.
Her, nobody cares. Why is she relevant? We don't know.
It's important for me to show you guys what an actual horrible person Frogan is, so that you can see who Twitch is elevating. So let's start with this clip. Ludwig, a large streamer on Twitch, donated $10,000 to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. That's a wonderful thing to do, right? No, not good enough for Frogan.
I find ultimately, like, if I were to do a charity thing where the charity thing relies on your donations, it should be something where like 95% of people feel good and are down for it. And like ultimately, regardless of what you think, that is not the situation here. So I personally donated 10K. Because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
Between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile.
Take. I know Arabs are dying, but you know, I'm not gonna tell you to donate. Do whatever you want. Me, I donated $10,000, but I'm not gonna promote it. Just don't say you donated $10,000 then. Look, if you're not actively believing, if you don't believe in the cause, and if you're not against genocide at this point, like, keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000. Keep your little chump change, like.
Keep your little chump change. I don't need your charity, rich content creator that platforms me and my friends. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
Like, what do you want to do? You want me to say, like, congratulations?
Imagine being Frogan, a leftist living in LA in comfort, begging for her rent money on stream, and telling displaced and famished Palestinian children, no kids, you need to give that $10,000 back. Ludwig didn't pass my purity test.
Keep your fucking money.
But wait, there's more.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. The U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. Oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD.
I'm gonna ask a question directly to members of service that are working and or have been in the armed forces, which basically means horror and whoever else wants to speak up. How do you feel? I don't even know if I'm ever asking this question when it came up in the news, but I'm gonna ask anyways again. How do you feel knowing that this piece of shit takes your service in vain and for granted? How do you feel? Let me know in chat form or in live dono. Your choice. In Horror's case, you could just jump in here and just be like, yes, let me espouse my hatred. You can imagine that those people are not pleased, to say the least. I'm actually scared of what Horror's gonna type. I don't even think about it. I'm actually scared of what Horror's gonna say. This is not funny. I'm being dead-assed. Now, I can tell you what I feel, since I've effectively worked for the government. Knowing that Frogan feels this way, and despite the fact that I've never had to see direct armed conflict as a member of the US government, but only as local and state. Outside of the Fed. She can't, she's in the gym. I'll imagine what it is, and I'm going to imagine it's a line of slurs. It's a line of slurs and insults. Just a long bleep for about a minute long. And every interjection, words like fat, tubby, monolithic. But as someone who's worked for the government, I am disheartened that such an American can be capable of earning money on a live stream platform and she is not immediately deplatformed. Because true justice requires tyrants. And this woman is a tyrant. She is as big as a tyrant. I'm joking. 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 Wink. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Let's keep going.
And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
This clip obviously made the rounds on social media and rightfully outraged a lot of people. Here's how she responded the next day.
I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
Let's hear it, Frogan. Based?
And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Based? Like, am I supposed to be like, I'm not walking back on it. I still fucking agree with it. Based?
The smug defiance Frogan is showing is only because she knows that Twitch will do nothing to moderate her, despite veterans being classified as a protected group in Twitch's own community guidelines. But wait, there's more!
Okay, 6250. 9/11 baking stream with Raf and Capri.
Now, I want you guys to take a big look at the money. Notice that every dollar is an extra minute. She's earning close to over $8,000. And she has the freedom to fucking degenerately hate the armed forces that enrich her as she makes content about them.
If we get to this goal by 9/11, Capri, Raf, and I will make the Twin Towers out of a stacked cake, and we'll make an airplane, and we'll recreate 9/11.
This tweet was the final straw for me. You'll notice the date is October 7th, 2023,
the morning of the massacre,
at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time.
At this moment, Hamas militants had infiltrated a music festival and several kibbutzim, where they began their wanton slaying of civilians. Here's what she tweeted.
Leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America. But as soon as it happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong. It's not what she said, it's when she said it. While she's on Twitter celebrating, I was listening to the local news in Israel. Families were calling into news stations begging for help. Let me show you what I mean.
Warning. What the fuck?
Listening to the local news in Israel, families were calling into news stations begging for help. Let me show you what I mean.
Warning, viewer discretion is advised. The following phone call is extremely disturbing and may upset some viewers. If you like to skip it, there's a bookmark in the timeline that tells you when the call is finished.
איפה אתם? יואו, ממי, צריכים מיקום. תתחברו, תמצאו מקום, תתחברו. אבל אני עוד אותך, אנחנו בתוך הרכב, אי אפשר לצאת. אני יוצא לכיוון שלכם עכשיו, צריכים מיקום, צריכים מיקום. אני בא, ממי, צריכים מיקום, אלוהים.
The morning of October 7th, Israelis were listening to calls like this all morning long. Dozens of them. Imagine reading this tweet after listening to this. This woman should have moved on years ago to another profession, but for some reason Twitch is obsessed with keeping her on life support. And instead of moderating her, they actually gave her an award, Together for Legendary Woman, in which she would get front page placement all year long.
This is actually my favorite detail about Frogan. She won a Rising Star Award at the Streamer Award, an award show put on by her friends. And then the next year, guys, she gets nominated
again
for Rising Star again. Are they fucking with her? You can't be Rising Star twice. It's up or it's down, man. In fact, you were never up. That was the problem. They tried to pretend like you were up, but you were always down. Rising Star twice. What's this, fucking Mario Kart? You hit a boost up there or some shit?
Ding dong.
Because Frogan is the two-time Rising Star champ, and because of her massive viewership of 100 concurrent viewers, it only makes sense that Twitch would give her one of the main stages at TwitchCon to do a 45-minute long segment. Her idea that was Twitch approved, an Arab to Jew racial tier list. So the premise is who can say Habibi, an Arabic word of affection like baby or sweetheart. And this tier list determines who can say it. Top and most desirable tier is Arab. And at the bottom, the worst one is, quote, loves Sabra. Now, why does Love Sabra equate to Jews? Sabra is a well-known Israeli company that makes hummus. They've been on the divestment list for many, many years, so the activists are well aware of their status. Oh yeah, and Sabra literally means a Jew that was born in Israel.
It also plays up an anti-Semitic trope that denies Jewish identity in the Middle East. There's this idea that Israelis are all white colonizers who are stealing the culture and identity of Arabs to make it seem like they belong there. Watch Frogan and her co-hosts accuse Israelis of culturally appropriating Arab culture.
The one thing that's like funny is that there's two types of like genocide, right? There's like genocide of real people, and then there's like cultural genocide, right? Like this.
Oh, lovely. These are clips from Arab.
Fucking funny. Like, those motherfuckers trying to take hummus and say.
Watch as you can. Watch, hear, and see the comedic stylings of 3 different types of cultural and religious Arab citizens living in the United States and making money off an American platform and an American company.
Of Arabs to make it seem like they belong there. Watch Frogan and her co-hosts accuse Israelis of culturally appropriating Arab culture.
The one thing that's like funny is that there's two types of like genocide, right? There's like genocide of real people, and then there's like cultural genocide, right? Like this is fucking funny. Like those motherfuckers trying to take hummus and say it's Israeli is the most insane thing to me.
Dude, the fact that they have the audacity to create Sabra and make that like the staple hummus of America, insane.
It's super offensive to us. And like that.
Is the comedy ribbling off your fucking spines, chat? I promise you, you've never seen shit like this. You've never seen shit like this. No. You've never seen shit like this.
That's actual like cultural appropriation. Like people get mad when someone has like dreadlocks and they call that culture. I'm like, come on, it's just like a hairdo. Like it's okay. People like white people are allowed to have dreadlocks if they want dreadlocks. But like actually trying to claim our food, our desserts.
Just one question for you guys.
Who the fuck do you think is making the hummus in Israel? Martha Stewart? No, it's the same fucking Arabic-speaking Jews that you kicked out in the 1950s. Yes, they also like hummus, and they like all the same shit you do. Because they are you. They're from your country. You kicked them all out, and now you're accusing them of stealing your culture. You want to talk about cultural genocide? Well, here it is. You racist piece of shit.
Those motherfuckers trying to take hummus and say it's Israeli is the most insane thing to me.
Hey scumbag, here's a hummus place we used to eat at. The chef is from Yemen. Here's another dude from Syria. Does this dude look like a white colonizer to you? Would you like to tell him he's stealing your culture? Well, this is what most Israelis look like.
Dude, the fact that they have the audacity to create Sabra.
This is casual bigotry being passed around like a leftist talking point. It's exactly why people are saying that anti-Semitism is coming mostly from the left. And yes, I know this dipshit is also Jewish. Incredible. He picked up so many tokens, he actually became one. And by the way, everybody on this panel is looking pretty fucking white themselves. So bearing all of this in mind, it's really not a stretch to say that the Love Sabra bracket is a dog whistle for Israelis or Jews.
The next person is one of my favorite people. Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one. That's good. All right. Turn that up. Turn giraffes.
We all know where this is going.
You guys are missing a category for Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke in my...
Stand up. Well, obviously it's Love Sabra, right?
Yeah,
it has to be.
That's easy. That's definitely Love Sabra.
She apparently consulted with the head of the KKK and he told her more subtle. So if it wasn't obvious enough, they pulled me, one of the best known Jewish creators, and immediately put me in Sabra. Hassan, by the way, who's Turkish, not Arab, is Arab. That's the good one. That's the good one. The Arab ethnicity is S tier. Then Denham's jokes that we don't have a category low enough for Zionists. Once again calling out my Jewish identity.
Where's the, you guys are missing a category for Zionist.
And if it isn't about being Jewish,
why would they put Ben Shapiro in the thumbnail?
One of the other most prominent Jews on YouTube, in the category next to me, when he's not even featured in the game. Who's next down there? Anne Frank? Einstein? Seth Rogen? Schindler? Well, he wasn't Jewish, but they would put him down there, let's be real.
It also doesn't help their case that both my wife and Ben Shapiro's wife were born in Israel, which would make them Sabras. So loves Sabra literally in this case means Jew lover. That sounds pretty racist. And what about the title? How Arab are these Twitch streamers? Hold on a minute. I thought this was about hummus. You know, I'm tired of these people gaslighting me. Haven't the Jews been gassed enough? So you're telling me you understand what microaggression is, but you can't understand why.
Ethan! This joke has been brought to you by YouTube. This show's been brought to you by YouTube! I signed
why a Jewish man might be uncomfortable with this. I feel like this is indefensible, blatant, obvious anti-Semitism, and this was greenlit by Twitch to appear on their main stage. How is that even possible? Right in front of their sponsors too. Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung. This racial tier list was brought to you by our sponsors, Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung. This is an example of Twitch management elevating a racist nobody like Frogan at the detriment of their own company's well-being. Why?
After the predictable controversy this caused, Dan Clancy, the CEO, went live for the first time after 2 weeks and did an FAQ.
It's exciting to be here.
A really bad one.
Mary, thanks for having me.
Oh, yes. This was in the middle of the Dan Clancy firestorm. Because the other Dan, a hard crash-out saltman, would be a part of the group of people in this chat that would be trying to ask questions about why they were not doing anything about the anti-Semitism of Hatred.tv. Please tell me you have the full report from this website. Please tell me the full report is here in this fucking call on the website.
Do this with you. And we have a lot to talk about. And, looking forward to questions.
Let's take a look at some of the questions they got. This person asked, do you plan on addressing the anti-Semitism problem?
Oh,
Dan's
God, he
response?
does.
Permanent ban.
He does. Yes! Yes! Oh. Oh, the content's back on the menu. Please tell me this brings back up the fucking apocalypse.
Why do you not ban streamers that show terrorist propaganda on your website? Good question. Permanent ban. Do you care to comment about the ADL and anti-Semitism on Twitch? Ban.
Why the fuck is the CEO banning people for asking reasonable questions about a relevant controversy they've been in? What the fuck is this? These are not even written like in a mean way. You are banned, just like the entire country of Israel. It had just been discovered around the same time as this
Yes! They're all here! The links are all here! What is the, hold on. Twitch stock. No, show me the stock price. That's right. It's not a publicly traded company, so there is no stock prices on this. Fuck! I wanted to be able to show the fucking price of the goddamn company fucking plummet from the time that this goes live. I would have loved nothing fucking more. Oh well.
Secretly, without announcing it anywhere, banned the entire country of Israel from creating new accounts. This was enacted right after October 7th, and it continued on for a year. And if you're wondering how you didn't hear about it before, It's not because the Israelis weren't talking. Here's the top Israeli streamer's video about it.
Which is entitled, Twitch does not want Jews on their platform. He explains that they slowly started to realize no accounts could be made, and him and his fellow Israeli streamers were causing a lot of noise to get noticed. But Twitch completely ignored them for 5 months. When he created a support ticket with Twitch, it was straight up deleted with zero explanation. Around the end of the year, when people started talking about anti-Semitism on Twitch, Dan Saltman discovered the Israel ban when he was sent the code proving the block.
Ladies and gentlemen, a 7th missile has been launched from the Taliban complex, and it has hit the Twitch adpocalypse structure. I repeat, the Taliban missile has hit this Twitch structure.
Happened, presumably from someone who works at Twitch, and it could no longer be ignored. Israeli and American media started to pick up the story, which finally forced Twitch to respond. He also explains the block started on October 13th, which happens to be Global Jihad Day, when Islamic terrorists call on others globally to act, which he thinks is an odd coincidence. They were never notified in any way, and it greatly affected their business. He says he doesn't feel safe with Dan Clancy in power, as he feels he can no longer trust him.
When Israelis try to sign up, it gives you a generic error message. It doesn't say anything that suggests that you're ineligible because you're in Israel. So when one of these guys wrote to Twitch customer service, this is what they said. I am really sorry that you are having issues creating an account. We have reviewed your case thoroughly and can confirm that unfortunately you are not eligible to create a Twitch account. As a result, we will be closing your case at this time.
Under the new increased scrutiny, Dan Clancy panicked and posted 2 terrible explanations on Twitter that were immediately community noted.
How can Twitch say on one hand that they've reviewed the case thoroughly, and then on the other hand say it was an accident and they didn't know? This is all very fishy.
A big media company like Twitch doesn't realize that their new account signups from Israel has completely flatlined? You're telling me that you guys didn't notice that? That's impossible. Then, at the same time, it was announced that Sneeko, Fresh and Fit, and the little Houthi twink terrorists were all unbanned, and they...
Dan Saltman fucking... a 8th missile has been launched from the Taliban structure.
Could stream again on Twitch. This is like the holy trinity of anti-Semitism.
So guys, yeah, we're back on Twitch. Welcome. I know we had gotten banned or whatever, or we got suspended, but I went ahead and appealed it, and we're back in the house, man. So for all the haters out there that were like, you know, oh yeah, they got banned on Twitch. Hey, be mad. Be mad, guys, because we are back in the house. They can't stop us.
They did stop them. An hour later, all 3 of the accounts were eventually rebanned. But the decision to unban those 3 creators at that exact time, and being 3 of the best known anti-Semites on the internet, seems to clearly be trying to send a message.
And then it was discovered that Twitch's head of policy and community guidelines was previously fired from her job publicly.
Yes, this is actually probably the biggest one that's important, because the fact that she was forced out of her position, and the fact that not enough people talked about this, other than maybe me, and I don't even think I covered it very well. The fact that she was in this position, from having to have left in shame from her last position, is going to put it all into question, because it was under her that this stands.
By the covered that Twitch's head,
because she was there. Fuck.
Imagine.
Okay.
The risk of me like ending up getting
deciding what
really to Jew in the Jew
previously fired from her job publicly by the British government. Why?
And being 3 of the best
policy and community.
There you go. Carl, stop dragging from the bottom right edge. The fact that she was a trust and safety professional that was put on the trust and safety policy team, which is ultimately the team that decides whether or not you get banned or not. The fact that she was on this team means that there's no way that they could not have understood that any of this shit was going down and happening, because it would be through them that all of this flows. Of course, if you're assuming that those that were no longer at work at Twitch were the ones that were part of the former trust and safety team, and those were the ones that were responsible for the Dr. Disrespect drama, this is the team that is now responsible for this drama. And there's no way they could have not seen the anti-Semitism, because they were talking about it in the Slacks. Though I don't know if he'll put the Slack chats on there. He really does. Please tell me he does after this section.
Community Guidelines was previously fired from her job publicly by the British government. Why? She does not like the Jews.
That's right. Their head of trust and safety was previously suspended from her job at Ofcom for being too anti-Zionist. And guess where her very next job was at? That's right, Twitch TV.
Apparently she was posting pro-Hamas tweets only mere days after October 7th happened.
That's so interesting. It sounds just like someone else we know. It's almost like supporting terrorists is institutional. Hell, it might even be a prerequisite. Take a look at this tweet from Twitch's senior manager of inclusive marketing, Bridget Chermating, on October 12th. People are posting screenshots of them donating to Israel relief funds. Shake my head, y'all are truly rooting for the oppressor. Read a damn book. This tweet was made only 5 days after the October 7th massacre. The donations she's criticizing would go to families like this, if they were still alive. This entire family was murdered in cold blood by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. Bridget, who did these little girls oppress? How can you act so high and mighty for your cause and be so callous and inhuman for the innocents on the other side? This statement was made by the senior manager for inclusive marketing. Is that...
And the fact that this happens to be on LinkedIn is why it's important to not have the disability of not being able to pull people from there.
That's some kind of joke? Is this what inclusion looks like at Twitch?
Is it really crazy at this point, after all this, to say that Twitch has an anti-Semitism problem? I think it would be harder at this point to argue the opposite.
Oh, Bridget, one more thing. Sorry, I forgot. Can you tell me the answer to this riddle? What's the difference between a Boy Scout and a Jewish kid? I'm standing by. Let us know. And yes, it's true. I should point out this tweet is from 2011. This one, however, is from 22. Sarah Silverman tweeted out, Kanye threatened the Jews yesterday on Twitter and it's not even trending. Why do mostly only Jews speak up against Jewish hate? The science is so loud. Bridget said, this was the energy I was around when I worked with 2 Jewish women in social impact, who were both senior to me. She's trying to make Sarah Silverman seem like some kind of Jewish Karen for caring about anti-Semitism. I wouldn't really care about any of this if she wasn't the head of fucking diversity at Twitch. What the fuck is happening here? This is insane.
So with people like her deciding what is and isn't okay on Twitch, there's no surprise that you end up with these extraordinarily uneven enforcements of the rules.
Take, for example, this clip of the streamer Destiny. He was permanently banned for what he said here.
A 9th Taliban missile has been launched at the structure! In the past! It time traveled out of the 9/11 shaped hole!
That community is never worth engaging with. There's just no point in doing it. Like, it's too, the risk of me, like, ending up getting, like, permabanned and my life destroyed because of these, like, inbred fucking disgusting losers is, like, it's just not worth it. It's just totally not worth it.
And okay, you know, fair enough. If you're going to be consistent with the enforcement, then, you know, let's have a friendly place, a safe environment. It's calling a minority group inbred, which results in a permanent ban. Okay. Okay, has anyone else done that?
The Jewish KKK brigades out there, just a bunch of fucking inbred hicks. Imagine the most inbred white supremacist guy you can imagine, okay? Every week there was another fucking psychopathic settler, inbred fucking douchebag. Oh, these inbred fucking douchebags in the background, dude. A nation entirely comprised of messianic, inbred, ultra-orthodox psychopaths that these inbred don't understand. Educated, inbred, fundamentalist hicks.
Calling us in the middle of campus, calling us inbred, that we have no culture. One of them grabbed my friend's Israeli flag in the middle of campus, carried it to a mob by the gate that were communicating with the angry mobs outside of campus.
Untrained, inbred asses shipped into southern Lebanon, telling us that we are all inbred and that we have no culture.
You want to see?
Is that the door squeak?
Clips?
Inbred.
Thanks, Hassan.
The clips, and that's not necessarily the algorithm.
Truly, truly, of the power of the nuke. Truly. Oh,
Hassan, a non-Jewish person, is referring to Jews as inbred consistently throughout his career.
Inbred, ultra-Orthodox psychopaths.
Zero punishment. Hassan interviewing a Houthi pirate.
The Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Zero punishment. Hassan watching terrorist propaganda with zero critical commentary.
They do they do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Zero punishment. Hassan threatening a sitting congressperson. This one actually blew my mind. When I saw he tweeted that, I said, he's done after this for sure.
Okay, so this one requires context.
Zero punishment. Hassan threatening a sitting congressperson. This one.
Now, this one is like, well, Carl, why is he including this one? This is clearly on Twitter. Well, you see, off-platform behavior that is done concerning a Twitch streamer, if they, caveat, asterisk, if they give a shit about it, can result in you being deplatformed from the platform. Because he's a content creator of size and he tweeted this at a sitting office official, should have been an automatic punishment. But it was not. Because this is a manufactured weapon. Not an IUD, but a customized, modified weapon. Created out of household appliances and tools. For the purposes of assault. Posting this would be like posting an IUD planted underneath the car of a sitting official for your state of choice. It's the equivalent of being outside their home and being like, left a present for you under the driver's side. Honestly, the fact that he didn't get stricken for this was probably only because not enough people talked about it, and it was not on Twitch when he posted it. He didn't construct a tweet on the timeline and then post himself doing so live on air.
This one actually blew my mind. When I saw he tweeted that, I said, he's done after this for sure. For sure he is.
For those that may not recognize this weapon, I'll explain. Shinzo Abe is a former Japanese prime minister. He served from 2012 to 2020. He was assassinated in July of 22, in a stunning fashion that left the Japanese public horrified. He was killed with a makeshift weapon that the shooter had built himself at home. So when Hassan saw this tweet that he didn't like, he posted the schematics in what can only be presumed as an invitation to someone in his fan base to build this weapon and then assassinate this sitting congressperson.
And that's the part that makes it fucked up. Because, you see, this is not a clever tee-hee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee-hee. It is literally an instruction manual. It is an instruction manual to make a weapon of terror. Whether or not a person 3D prints this and makes it, they are a handyman, they have access to the tools and the knowledge on how to design it. It only really just shows you generally the idea of roughly how it's constructed. It doesn't break down the internal mechanics of it. But a smart person that understands how to craft makeshift weapons would be able to. This is effectively him creating an instruction manual that says, I want this guy done and here's how I want it done. It's like that one manifesto that was produced by one of the school shooters, where he basically had like a weapons list of accessible ways that a normal citizen could be able to legally purchase a weapon and the types of things that they wanted to basically have banned by the government. You know, the equivalent of things like legal bump stocks or paraphernalia, outfitting materials, the nines.
Who wrote a tweet he did not like. I genuinely do not know how he didn't land himself in prison for making terroristic threats.
Zero punishment.
Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods.
And this isn't just a Hasan problem. It underscores a disturbing trend among leftists on Twitch. The problem is, if you can believe it, these people are frequently making death threats and facing zero consequence. I know it sounds far-fetched, but I assure you it's very real.
Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear.
Bro, that Destiny guy needs to get not gonna fucking lie.
It would just be so easy to just, it was so, like, solve.
Ah, yes. Welcome, every member of the Hasan Anti-Semi Squad. Welcome, welcome. Even you, Black Banger. Even you. You can join in too. You're more of an anti-Destiny person, but welcome aboard! Welcome aboard! Everybody can get in here. It's a group shot. Everyone's getting lit up.
All of our problems, like, we would have socialism now at this point, right? We would have socialism at this point if someone just went out of their way and it would be so easy.
Thing that happens, I mean, like, holy shit, guys. If you live
Mike
in
from
Florida,
PA under Central Committee account. You're looking even fatter and even sadder. Still no calls back from Kira, huh?
I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn $100,000, let me know.
Actually, Mike from PA, the dude that's stuck in the before image of a transformation story, did receive a 3-day ban.
This man put a bounty on a fellow streamer's head. This man should not be getting a 3-day suspension. He should be getting a knock on his door from the FBI.
I made this video for 2 reasons. First, to stop Hasan infiltrating mainstream media. Hasan has been welcomed by many mainstream outlets. They view him as a friendly social democrat, as someone who's just trying to spread progressive politics online to an important demographic. But we know that's not true. He is not their friend or their ally. If you ever see Hasan rubbing shoulders with anyone from mainstream media, let them know politely, with all the civility in the world, what kind of person he is when he thinks mainstream media isn't watching. Help them understand that his name should be associated with people like Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones, other fringe, radical, political commentators. Number 2, Twitch must be held accountable. Twitch has proven that it will not change by choice, and so it is our moral imperative to enact that change through any reason.
Oh, and he's taking Dan's route of attacking the advertisers. Is there an adpocalypse now? Is there an adpocalypse now, Pirate Software? Is it happening now? Is it happening for reasons that shouldn't be legal that you don't already agree with, since you agree that there should be no politics on the platform? Both you and also every other member of a media figure system, including, Devin Nash. Oh yeah. It's back on the menu.
Reasonable means that we can. Samsung, Chevron, and Capcom. Twitch has given them a lasting association with a racial tier list with Arabs at the top and Jews at the bottom. These brands have every right to know. And they should. We all recall YouTube's adpocalypse. It happened when ads were running over ISIS recruitment videos and it caused a brand exodus. The same thing is happening now on Twitch, but instead of ISIS, it's the Houthis, Hamas, and Hezbollah. Dan Clancy's refusal to moderate extremists is the only reason for any of this. He is the sole person to blame. He had so many opportunities to stop this. Ultimately, after dedicating months of my life to creating this video, I am left with one overwhelming conclusion. Fuck this dude.
It's done. It's over. It's done. It's over, chat. The question is, will this video actually have caused any change? I'm sticking the word cause in there. Will they exile Hasan and his ilk? Probably not. Not until more people get on his ass. Until every content creator reacts to it, until every single person lays it out, until it's seen by every single person on the platform and people start disassociating from them in real time because he's... The goal here, the short answer, TLDR, you need to make people like Cutie Cinderella and Ludwig effectively cut off Hasan and Frogan and Denims and the rest of his ilk from the influencer marketplace. You remember how many times I said that the reason why people like this are platformed is because of the Kingmaker system? You basically need to make them toxic to touch, to the kingmakers. If you make them toxic to the kingmakers, where any association and any inclusion of them will get them nothing but never-ending flack because, hey, you platform anti-Semites. Hey, you platform anti-Semites. You're friends with anti-Semites. You actively get awards to send anti-Semites. You platform people who will gang stalk individuals, who will harass public officials on the internet, who will do this and do that and do that and do this and do that. And every single time they say it, they link this video, and it's the most eloquent breakdown of why he should not be platformed or associated with the group. Effectively, the second outcome that I said needed to happen to Destiny, where he is barred from any means of public infiltration of news. It's the exact same thing. That is exactly option number 2 in the Dalaban stock exchange destruction. Here you have the Hassan stock exchange destruction. He doesn't really have a name for his audience. It's just Hassan's audience, otherwise known as terror supporters. This would be the way that you do it, Bolster. It would first start with the brands, then the content creators who make deals with those brands, as well as event runners for Twitch rivals. So, influencer marketing and the players that want to be a part of the influencer contests that they hold as a part of the platform, that is basically the spectacles that keep people on the site. Then the streamers, then the podcast the streamers control in any of their matrices of reach out and overlap, and then finally the streamers themselves being banned permanently because they can't make money if they're on the platform. They say, I will not give money to here, something like Barclays, any company, Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, any payment processor says, no, I will not do business and I will not process your money and I will not process your subs until these streamers are gone. That would be the way to do it. Great video. Wonderful video. And on that note, I'm going to go make dinner. And then you will all be able to catch me live watching this back with Jay. She got back to me in the middle of the call. So, I won't spoil this for her. But I will give her context if she asks for it. Or if I think she needs it. Feel free to come. Feel free to tune in then. I might even simulcast it with her. Anyways. Bonsoir. I will see you all tomorrow. Do I get to see you all tomorrow? I don't know my own schedule this week. I think I do. Or like a little bit. You probably won't see me Sunday. But then you'll pick me back up Monday. We'll figure it out. Anyways. Dinner time. I'm hungry for burritos.